Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. My name is Aaliyah. I started off with a fresh face. I did my skincare and brows off camera. I prime my face using the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. This is my go-to primer. Just make sure with any primer that you're using that you let it dry before applying product over it. So I'm just using a random makeup palette to make sure that it dries. Next, I'm just spot concealing any blemishes that I have using my Maybelline Fit Me concealer. I'm breaking out a bit because I haven't been remembering to do my skincare at night, but we're just going to cover up any of my problem areas. Also, make sure to let your concealer sit and dry before you blend it out as well. It's dry now, so I'm just using my Real Techniques brush to blend it out. This is L'Oreal's True Match Tinted Serum. It has hyaluronic acid, so it leaves my skin moisturized and not cakey at all. And it's super lightweight, so it's not heavy on my skin at all. And then I just use my Real Techniques brush to stipple it into my skin. It does have a skin-like finish, but it's buildable, so if you need more coverage, you can just put more on. And I'm just taking my time with blending this out. That's one of the most important parts about putting on makeup, is just taking your time with blending. It can make or break your makeup look. Now I'm just going in with the lighter shade of the Maybelline Fit Me concealer. I'm using this under my eyes and my outer corner. I'm winging out the concealer at the corner of my eyes just to give it a lifting effect. And then I'm just letting it dry using an eyeshadow palette. I need to get one of those cute little fans to just dry my makeup a little bit faster. But once it's dried, I just use a Real Techniques brush to blend it out. You want to use a concealer shade that's like 1 to 2 shades lighter than your skin tone if you don't want it to be like a super bright under eye look. But if you still just want it just like a little bit bright, just 1 to 2 shades lighter than your skin tone is fine. Then I went back in with the darker shade of the concealer to get some extra coverage over the areas where my skin isn't that great. I want a little more coverage, so I'm doing the same thing to my under eyes and once again letting it dry. I also find just working in layers just helps me get better coverage. And I'm just really just packing that concealer into my skin. You really don't want to just swipe it, you really just want to pat it in there. Next, I took my Maybelline Loose Finishing Setting Powder and I applied that under my eyes using a powder puff. Using the powder puff just really gets it precise underneath your eyes. I don't let it sit for too long, so I brushed it away. And then for the rest of my face, I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me Pressed Powder. I find that the pressed powder just gives me a little bit more coverage, and then the setting powder just helps me be less oily in my T-zone area and underneath my eyes, so it's just perfect for me. To add some color back into my face, I'm taking Black Radiance's pressed powder, and I'm just putting it on my cheekbones and around my forehead. This just adds some more color back into my face after using powder. Sometimes it can just, make your face look a little two-dimensional. So I'm pretty much just putting it where my face would normally have shadows, and I think it looks really good. I think it really does make my makeup look a lot better. And as you can see, I was really just feeling myself. Like, I just kept looking and I was like, okay girl. Now I'm just using e.l.f.'s Putty Blush. It's such a pretty shade. I think it matches my skin tone perfectly, but I'm using the e.l.f. Putty Blush brush. That's like a tongue twister, but I'm just buffing that into my skin. I did go back into the container and just like really get it worked into the brush just so it can apply better. So I really do like that it's also buildable. And to set the blush in place, because I do have oily skin, I took my Black Radiance Baked Bronzer and I'm just going over top of the blush with it. And then I just took my powder puff and another brush just to clean up my makeup. I didn't add any extra product on top of the sponge or the brush. I'm just using whatever was left over. I'm loving my makeup. And then I remembered that I don't like product on my eyelids just because I have oily skin and I hate the way it separates. I did my lip combo off camera. And finally, I'm taking my Charlotte Tilbury airbrush flawless setting spray and spraying that all over my face. It just melts my makeup into my skin. I love it. My makeup literally looks like skin. That completes my everyday makeup routine. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you learned something, but thanks for watching. Bye, y'all.